What do you truly treasure in your life? I mean, when you think about jewels or treasures, are they always, material things? Or could they maybe be something deeper, something lasting, something that brings real well-being?
That's a really central question, isn't it? Because, well, our world today often pushes us towards the tangible, what we can buy or own.
Mhm.
But what if the greatest treasures weren't about getting more stuff, but about, say, a certain understanding or a path, or even found within a community?
Exactly. And that's right where we're headed today. Welcome to the deep dive. This is where we take your sources, we dig in, and we try to unearth those really valuable nuggets of knowledge. And today we're doing quite a unique deep dive. We're looking into a really ancient and revered text, the Ratanasutta,
Hmm.
Sutta, which is a discourse from the Buddhist tradition. And it offers this, well, pretty radical view on what real jewels actually are.
Yeah, it really does. And our mission, our goal for this deep dive is basically to unpack the insights that are woven into these verses. We want to understand what these jewels are according to this text, and importantly, why they were seen as unsurpassed treasures, treasures that offer genuine well-being to anyone who, embraces their truth.
Okay, so let's set the scene a bit. How does this ancient text even begin?
Well, right from the very start, it gives this incredibly inclusive invitation. The opening lines actually address all beings, whether they're earthly or celestial. It's inviting everyone to be happy and to listen attentively.
Right. And it's more than just listen up. There's also this call for kindness towards humanity. And it asks for protection for those who support spiritual seekers, those who bring offerings. So it immediately sets this tone of mutual well-being. It's about respect, a kind of collective flourishing. It's a very universal welcome, really. A collective flourishing. I like that. And it's from that kind of foundation, that baseline of well-being, that the Sutta then introduces its core idea, this concept it calls the three jewels, or the Triratana. These are the absolute central treasures it keeps coming back to. They're like the pillars of this whole teaching.
Absolutely. And the real power, I think, or a lot of it, comes from this recurring phrase, this refrain that anchors the whole thing. It goes, "This too is a precious jewel in the Buddha Dhamma Sangha. By this truth may there be well-being." You hear it again and again.
Ah, okay. So that line connects each specific quality directly to well-being. It makes it super clear why these aren't just, abstract concepts, but actual treasures.
Precisely. It hammers home the point.
hmm
Understand this, embrace this, and well-being follows.
Okay, so let's dive into the first one then. The first jewel, the Buddha. The text is pretty direct here. It asserts his uniqueness, his supremacy. There's a line, nothing equals the Tathagata.
Right, Tathagata. That's a key title for the Buddha.
hmm
It means something like one who has thus gone or thus come. Someone who fully gets it, who embodies the truth. So the text is saying he's completely unparalleled in wisdom, in attainment. There's no comparison.
And how does it talk about his teaching? Is it just presented as, facts?
Oh, not at all. There's this beautiful analogy used in one verse. It compares his teaching to, get this, a forest grove with blossoming tips in the first month of summer.
Wow.
Yeah. It's such a vivid image, isn't it? Suggests beauty, life, growth, all leading to the excellent Dhamma, the teaching itself, for this supreme benefit, for liberation.
That really paints a picture, something vibrant, alive, purposeful. And there are other qualities mentioned too, right? For the Buddha himself.
Other verses describe him as the supreme, knower of the supreme, giver of the supreme, bringer of the supreme, unsurpassed.
Unsurpassed. There's that word again.
Exactly. And always emphasizing that he taught the excellent Dhamma.
So it makes you wonder, doesn't it? What does it really mean for something or someone to be called unsurpassed? Especially when you're talking about deep truth or ultimate understanding.
That's a great question to reflect on. What does unsurpassed imply to you? Especially in a world where, let's face it, there are so many different claims about truth.
For me, it suggests a kind of finality, like a complete, undeniable authority that comes from having reached the absolute peak of understanding. Not just a good way, but the ultimate way.
Interesting. A sense of ultimate authority based on realization.
And that leads us nicely into the second jewel, doesn't it? The Dhamma, the teachings themselves. The Sutta presents this Dhamma as the actual path to liberation. One verse calls it the path to cessation, dispassion, and immortality.
And that immortality here clearly means nibbana, that state of profound peace, freedom from the whole cycle. It's not about living forever in this form, but escaping suffering altogether. And the text puts a huge emphasis on the purity of concentration samadhi that the Buddha praised. It states it flat out. Nothing equals that concentration.
It's easy sometimes, I think, to hear words like cessation or dispassion and think they sound Well, a bit negative. Or maybe just for monks.
Right, abstract.
Yeah, abstract. But the Sutta frames them as treasures. Just imagine that. Your greatest wealth isn't in getting something, but in letting go of that constant pull of craving and aversion. That's a really profound idea of freedom. It's not freedom to do whatever you want, but freedom from being pushed around by desires and fears. That's pretty countercultural, isn't it?
It absolutely is. It completely shifts the focus away from external achievements towards these deep internal states of freedom. It's a very different way of looking at, say, success compared to how we often measure it today.
Okay, so Buddha, Dhamma. What's the third jewel?
The third jewel is the Sangha, which means the community of practitioners.
Just community. Right. And how are they described?
The text talks about the 8 persons praised by the good, these 4 pairs. Now, this is a classical way of referring to individuals at different stages of awakening on the path to liberation. And crucially, they're described as worthy of offerings. This implies they've reached a significant level of spiritual development, and supporting them actually brings great merit.
So it's not just any group of people. It's a community defined by their spiritual attainment.
Exactly. And the Sutta really highlights their mental state, their resolve. It says they are well applied in mind, resolute, desireless in Gautama's dispensation. Gautama being the Buddha. They have attained their attainment. They've entered the immortal. They're enjoying freedom. It really paints a picture of deep commitment and actual liberation.
Is there an analogy for them, like the blossoming grove for the Dhamma?
There is. And it's incredibly powerful. One verse compares a truly good person, someone who understands the noble truths, to an unmoving gatepost, planted firm in the earth, unshaken by the 4 winds.
Wow. A gatepost, unshaken. That's quite an image. Stability.
Incredible stability, isn't it? Unwavering insight no matter what life throws at you. Storms, winds, it doesn't matter. That inner core holds firm. What does that image evoke for you?
Just that sense of solidity, reliability, knowing where you stand based on truth, not just opinions or circumstances.
Precisely. And the text connects this stability to something else really significant.
Yeah.
It says that those who realize these noble truths fully will not take an 8th existence.
An 8th existence, what does that mean?
It means they've broken the cycle. They're liberated from future rebirth, future suffering. 7 lifetimes is often seen as the maximum for someone on this path to reach full liberation. So not taking an 8th means they've done it. They're free.
That's huge. So what changes in a person to reach that state? Does the text say?
It gets quite specific, actually. It says, with the attainment of insight, 3 particular things are abandoned, completely shed.
Okay, what are they?
First, self-identity view that's clinging to the idea of a fixed permanent me. Second, doubt. Specifically doubt about the Buddha, the Dhamma, the Sangha, the path itself. And third, attachment to rites and rituals.
Ah, so going beyond just performing ceremonies to the actual substance.
Exactly. Understanding the purpose behind them, not just clinging to the form. And there's more. They're also freed from what are called the 4 states of woe, or lower realms, and they become incapable of committing 6 grave offenses, actions that lead to really negative consequences.
So it's a total transformation, ethical and spiritual.
A radical transformation, yes. And there's another fascinating point made in one verse.
Oh, yeah.
It says that someone who has truly seen the path, someone with this deep insight, is actually unable to conceal any bad things they might have done previously.
Unable to conceal them? How does that work?
It suggests an inherent transparency, a kind of fundamental honesty that comes with that level of understanding. It's like the truth within them is so strong, there's simply no room for hiding or deceit anymore. It shines through.
That implies a really deep integrity, doesn't it? Something that becomes part of their very being.
Yes, exactly. An ingrained integrity.
Yeah.
And then this whole description of the Sangha culminates in this really powerful image of final liberation. It's quite poetic.
Let's hear it.
Verse 235 says, old is exhausted, new has no arising. Minds dispassionate toward future existence, seeds destroyed, desires not growing. They are wise ones who are extinguished like this lamp.
Extinguished like this lamp. Wow.
It's an image of complete peace. The fuel that causes the suffering and rebirth is gone. The flame just goes out, leaving only profound stillness and liberation.
So when you pull all that together, the qualities of the Buddha, the path of the Dhamma, the characteristics of the Sangha, what are the real hallmarks of wisdom and liberation according to this text?
Well, it seems to be about unwavering insight, doesn't it? Deep ethical purity, kind of resolute mind, and this profound inner freedom that isn't dependent on anything external. Stability like that gatepost.
It really challenges our modern ideas of what it means to be, successful or fulfilled, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. It points towards a different kind of wealth, an inner richness.
And weaving through all three jewels, there's that constant refrain.
hmm By this truth, may there be well-being.
Yeah, it keeps tying everything back to that outcome. It's not just about individual achievement, is it? It connects the wisdom of the Buddha, the path of the Dhamma, the community of the Sangha, directly to the state of universal flourishing, peace for everyone.
Exactly. It's the thread connecting the insight to the result. And the result isn't just personal. It's intended to ripple outwards. It links the truth of these jewels to well-being for all beings.
So let's try to wrap this up. To recap, what we've seen in the Ratanasutta is this profound distillation of spiritual wisdom. It takes the enlightened teacher, the path to freedom, and the qualities of a truly developed community, and it presents them as the ultimate non-material jewels, treasures that bring genuine, lasting peace.
That sums it up well. And the sutta itself closes quite beautifully, paying final homage to these three jewels, Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, acknowledging how they are revered by everyone, gods and humans alike. It brings the whole thing to a very reverent conclusion.
So after exploring all this, here's something maybe for you, our listener, to think about. We've talked about these ancient jewels, but what are the jewels in your own life, in your own understanding? What provides you with that deep sense of well-being? What feels like an unshakable truth for you, even when things get tough? And maybe reflect on how this ancient perspective challenges our modern ideas about what truly holds value, what genuinely brings lasting peace in our often chaotic world.